The man stood in the middle of his dimly lit room, pacing back and forth rapidly. He muttered to himself, "What am I supposed to do now? Everything just feels so confusing." He paused, running his hand through his hair, eyes searching the ceiling as if looking for answers from above. Suddenly he stopped and reenacted a conversation aloud. "I told you I couldn't handle the pressure anymore." He flicked his wrist dismissively and shook his head, voice trembling slightly. "No, I said I needed a break, not an end." His mind replayed the words of his friend, who had urged him to stay strong, saying, "You're stronger than you think." He whispered to himself, "But what if I'm not? What if I've reached my limit?" He started pacing again, each step echoing in the quiet room as he rehearsed another dialogue. In a mocking tone, he mimicked the opposing voice. "You're overthinking everything, just relax." He sighed loudly and shouted at the imaginary critic in his mind, "Relax, easy for you to say." The room felt smaller as his thoughts swirled, and he continued walking, voice raised in frustration. He reenacted a hopeful conversation. "Maybe I can fix this. Maybe there's still a way out." Then he immediately countered himself. "But what if I've already lost everything? What's left to fix?" He paused, face tense, and said in a hushed tone, "I wish I knew what the right choice was." Thinking out loud, he declared, "I need to make a decision, but my mind is just so clouded now." He suddenly stopped and spoke to an invisible confidant. "What would you do if you were me?" His voice cracked as he answered himself, "Honestly, I don't know, I'm so overwhelmed." He clutched his head and cried softly, "Why does this feel so unbearable right now?" Marrying self-reassurance, he whispered, "Calm down. Take one step at a time." He then envisioned a conversation with someone close. "Remember when you said everything gets better? Maybe it will this time." He laughed bitterly at the memory and said aloud, "Easy to say when you're not in my shoes." His mind filled with past moments. "I wish I could go back and do things differently." He reenacted a tender reply, "No matter what happens, I'll always be here for you." A tear slipped down his cheek as he recalled those words and said softly, "I miss those times." He felt a flicker of hope and repeated nervously, "Maybe I need to believe that something good can come." He looked around his room, cluttered with memories and pots of unfinished thoughts, and sighed deeply. He mumbled, "This room feels like my prison, but it's also where I need to find my freedom." His mental replay was interrupted by a sudden knock at the door, causing him to jump slightly. He hesitated, then shouted, "Come in!" and quickly tried to compose himself again. When the door opened, he faced his reflection in the mirror and whispered, "Are you ready to face whatever's next?" He nodded to himself, voice steadier this time. "Yes, I have to be." He reassured his imaginary confidant, "No matter what happens, I won't give up." Once again he paced, saying out loud, "This isn't the end, it's just a new beginning." He envisioned a comforting voice, "You can do this, just take one step at a time." He responded aloud, "Thanks for believing in me, even when I don't believe myself." His thoughts drifted to the future. "Maybe tomorrow will be a better day." He repeated, one step at a time, holding on to that fragile hope. Finally, he stopped pacing, took a deep breath, and declared, "I am ready to face whatever comes next."